Okay, so we've laid out the cards on the table. We're going to demonstrate with a couple of volunteers just a very quick exercise, what we call a random draw, sort of something we thought would be a really good way of starting it, but actually produces some really good, rich discussions around this. So we've got the cards laid out into the 4 themes. I'm just going to pick some of the categories, ask people to pick a card at random from those, and then reflect on how these cards relate to your experience of EDI and combine and either work well together or don't work well together to get a discussion going. So from the definitions theme, so we'll take the definitions and if we just pick one at random from there and see what we have. So there we go. We have inclusion as the first card we've picked. So you go around the table there and people can reflect on what does inclusion mean to them. There's the details there on the card which gives people a reference point to help people understand what is meant from inclusion in terms of the cards. So then you have a quick discussion around that and people can give their own perspectives on this. Then next, you can pick a card at random from the scenario theme. So as we do, and there we go. So we have age taken from the protected characteristics category. So therefore you play that up and discuss then how does people relate to how they may have been included or excluded in relation to age. So people may have their own experience of this and can reflect on that, but then reflect on how this relates to the previous card, so inclusion. So how can you include people of different ages within the context of your scenario or work and have the discussion related to that. So then there's the what am I going to do theme, and we pick a card at random from, in this case, the approach category. So we have, in this case, the governance card, which is one which may be more or less easy depending on your context of understanding how that might work. So you may need to have a bit of discussion about what people understand by governance in this context to get people's different perspective on this. And then so how work is managed or governed can influence issues of EDI, so have a discussion around that. And then reflect as a group, have a discussion around how does it relate to age and inclusion. So you're building up a richer picture through drawing the cards there and then discussing the combination that come out. And you're doing this as we are here completely at random, so therefore you get a different combination every time and get a really interesting rich discussion going through that. So just to finish off this demonstration, we're going to pick an uncomfortable question card, which in this case is naysaying, which doubting the ability to make a genuine difference. So therefore we have a question which comes up, what can I do about the culture? It's been like this for years. So you could have a discussion about that card individually, so people can maybe reflect on their own experiences of this attitude or things like this individually, and then think about it in combination with the previous things in governance, age, inclusion. So you could have, do people have experience of naysaying in relation to those things in relation to age? I imagine that you may, watching this video, have your own thoughts about that already, but from drawing the cards, you've created this combination and therefore have that discussion, and therefore you build up this picture. Depending on your discussion, you can continue with this, pick other cards from different categories to build up a more nuanced image of that, or start again with a different combination of cards in order to get a different discussion of EDI in relation to this. And hopefully by doing this, you'll be able to get familiar with the cards and get an idea of how they might be used, how they relate to your work, and a greater reflection and discussion and knowledge and engagement with EDI through just this very simple random draw exercise at the beginning. And this will perhaps lead to ideas for how the cards might be used in your context of work. So that brings us to the end of a whistle-stop tour of the EDI cards. We've given an overview of the categories, of the themes, the 145 cards, and a very brief introduction to a simple way of using them, reducing the cards and helping to engage with issues of EDI. I'd encourage you, if this has sort of whetted your appetite and interest in this, look at the details on the website. There's more details there of different ways to use them. Get familiar with the cards through the app or the PDF and seeing them there, and come up with your own ways of using them. As one of the things we emphasise of this, there's no right or wrong way of using these particularly, and we hope that you come up with your own ways of using them that's relevant to your context, because that's how they were designed for you to flexibly use them in relation to your own work. So hopefully this video has given you some ideas of how best to do that.